Our next conversation. In the words of former American President Ronald Reagan, the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. In recognition of his exemplary leadership, 3 former governors of Ekiti State have commended Governor Biodun Oyebanji for his efforts in fostering peace, unity and grassroots development in the state. The 3 former governors, Ni Adebayo, Ayodele Fayose and Segun Oni, spoke during the inauguration of various projects in the state to mark Governor Oyebanji's 2nd anniversary in office. They described him as a worthy successor and one capable of bringing more development to Ekiti State. Another former governor, Kaide Fayemi, hailed him for focusing on community development. Now let's share some of their comments with you.
Gómìnà yìí ló wá sọ gbogbo wa dọ̀rẹ́ o. Gómìnà yìí ló gbé òṣèlú kúrò láàrin wa. Ló jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé kì í jẹ́ kí ẹbí wa kan má lò lórí. Your Excellency Governor Adebayo, we are grateful to you. Ibi tá a lọ lẹ́yìn tá a lọ commission tán pè ní Adebayo Lodge. Adebayo gbé bẹ̀, mo gbé bẹ̀. Mo débẹ̀ lẹ́ni mi ò mọ̀ pé Èkìtì la wà. Mo débẹ̀ lẹ́ni mi ò mọ̀ yàrá mi mọ́. Your Excellency, you have done well. You have done well. Oye sọ mi ò ní ìdí àti patronize yẹn. Mi ò mọ̀ bó ṣe ń hide o. Ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni mo wà o. Ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni mo wà. Èèyàn bá lẹ́gbẹ̀rún ẹgbẹ́ sùn torí mo wà lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ kán mẹ́gbẹ̀rún máa lọ. Mo dé Èkìtì yìí, mo fẹ́ tẹ̀sí waters mo ṣe ń bọ̀ lóru. Mọ́tò tó ń lead mi was the escort of your Excellency. Bá a ṣe ń bọ̀ throughout yẹn báwo. Your name is now on the lips of an average Ekiti man. All I want to say to you, whether you commission, you don't commission, your works will go ahead of you. People are speaking for you. They are talking about you. They want you back. And you are coming back. Excuse me. If you are not working, we will say no, you are not going that route. I've been to my house 18 times. Even if I was the one that put you in that position, even if I was the one that nominated you, I wouldn't have asked for more. Would you? Be ilẹ̀ yìí àṣẹ tẹ̀síwájú ló kàn mí. Ilẹ̀ yìí tó Oyebanji bá ti ń ṣe dáadáa. My campaign me a better TPC fún èmi mo sọ fún yín tí Oyebanji bá ń continue bó ṣe ń continue lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí I will surprise you people. A leader must be upright, must speak to power. This gentleman is leaving a legacy that will be beyond him. Mo dẹ̀ ń sọ báyìí lẹ́ni mo dẹ̀ ní ìgbàgbọ́ pé gbogbo àwa tó ṣe gómìnà rí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì la máa gbé ẹ. Gbogbo wa ni o. Ẹ pósì lẹ́tà yẹn síbi tó bá yẹ kó lọ sí. Gbogbo wa pátápátá la wà lẹ́yìn Oyebanji, ẹni tí ò bá sí lẹ́yìn kó bọ́ síta. Ibi tá wà ní ẹ o. Ní 2026, I will come here, you will be here. 2027, I will come by the grace of God. Oyebanji, you will be here. 2028, I will come, you will be here. 2029, you will invite me, I will come and commission, you will be the governor. When you are leaving 2030, àwa jọ forí korí àdúgbò mọ́tà máa ṣe bí ìtìtì ẹ̀. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni?
When I left there, I would never have thought that this day would ever come. I would never have thought so. But that it had come, it's a thing of pride and joy and happiness for me. Ekiti, we are lucky today to have the governor that we have. We have a hard-working governor, one that has the love of Ekiti at heart. He has done one thing that no governor before him has been able to do. He has been able to bring all of Ekiti together. My brother, my successor in office, Peter Ayodele Fayose, has stated it. He has said all the things I would have wanted to say about our governor. He has said it, that I agree with him totally. Because had he not said those things, I would have said them. So he beat me to it today. Despite the fact that we may be in different parties or different political persuasions, the first thing, the most important thing to each and every one of us should be Ekiti State. To we, the leaders, that is what it is. Who would have thought that today, myself and Fayose will be sitting down and talking, exchanging banters and everything? To God be the glory. We are witnessing what we are witnessing today. And once again, I thank God. I know that I don't need to go around publicizing it or making noise about it. All of you know.
Wow, beautiful encomium there. BKO, I'll start with you on this one. It's great to see these three former governors, sharing encomium, saying good things about Governor Oyebanji. He must be doing something right, isn't it?
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And his government is so people-focused. One thing that I've said about this man is that he combines the traits of Fayose with that of Engr Segun Oni, because that's desire to get as close as possible to the grassroots. He took that from Fayose. And pragmatism, even in project execution, and etching himself in the consciousness of the people, he took that from Segun Oni. The governor will walk into people's homes of the elderly. He will greet them like the true Omolu and be properly brought up. And he will meet them at the point of their needs. You saw what he did for the pensioners the other day.
Yes, yes.
And all of the governors who were before him, who are still alive, he has found a way to forge a fantastic relationship with them. He goes to see them, to ask for advice about how to run the state and all that. He has brought all of them close, in spite of political
differences.
divides. And that's why you see that if Fayose, who is a PDP person, has been completely brought to the governor's side. The way it's going, Ekiti may not actually have opposition by the time he's ready to run for a second term, because the key political elements, the key opposition elements are even on his side now. I don't know how he managed to do it. To have Segun Oni, who is opposed to Fayose in so many ways, to have him on your side, to have Fayose on your side, that's having the opposition completely on your side. So those who have interest in Ekiti governorship 2 years from now should simply give up, except the governor changes. If he continues along this path, he is the runaway favorite to win the governorship election in 2 years' time. And I do not see him changing. I do not see him, because what he's doing now is not pretending. That's his true nature. He's humble to a fault, and he's committed to working for the people.
Okay. All right. Let me come with Adewale Adeoye. Looking at all of the things the governor has done, but they also talked about the fact that he also concentrates on the rural areas, not necessarily the urban areas. But the thing is, why is it that most governors focus more on urban centers than rural areas? But you get to answer that question right after this break. We need to go on this quick break now, and when we return, the conversation continues. It's still Journalist Hangout. All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Adewale Adeoye, Kaide Ladende, and we also have BKO joining us from Abuja. But Adeoye, I said most of the governors, they focus more on urban centers instead of rural areas. Why is this so? And Governor Oyebanji is changing the narrative here.
Well, I think it needs a governor that is part of the culture and history of the people. This governor attended primary school in that state. He attended secondary school in that state. He attended university in that state. He only did his master's at the University of Ibadan. And he has been part of the politics in the state from the age of 27, when in 1994 he was the secretary of the committee set up for the creation of Ekiti State. And he also was the, I think, secretary of Ekiti State Development Fund. You know, he was just 27 at this time. And at 32 years, he was already advisor to the governor. He became the chief of staff. He became commissioner and then became the SSG. So since 1994, at the age of 27, he has been part and parcel of the culture and tradition of Ekiti people. And I wouldn't say that he's focusing on rural areas. I think he's just focusing on the majority of the people. Yes. Ekiti has a population of maybe about roughly 4 million people. And Ado Ekiti, who is the capital, maybe about 467,000 people. Okay. So if you have a policy that takes the interest of the majority, automatically the people will see that you are working more in rural communities than across. Because in Ado Ekiti too, you can feel its impact. They are talking about Ring Road, you know, that encircle we should actually open up Ekiti to Oyo, Ogun, and all the frontier states. So I think the summary of the governor we are talking about is just the demonstration of rare wisdom in managing resources and manpower. Because Ekiti has had a tradition of bitter politics since 1999 that actually led to the death killings of people to the extent that Ekiti almost became the axis of violence in political decorum, political lexicon of Nigeria. And because of the subjective conditions at that time, you know. But now he came in, and if you look at when he came in barely 2 years ago, look at the margin. He scored 187,000, and the next person scored about 80,000 votes. Then the third person, 67,000. If you combine the two votes, you know, his own vote was still higher than those people. And we are not talking about Segun Oni, Fayose, Adebayo. These are the key pillars, Fayemi. Exactly. Pillars of politics in Ekiti State. So if all of them are coming together to say, look, we are in support of this person, they are speaking for the people. If they are speaking otherwise, it will have been contradictory to the feelings of the ordinary man on the street. So they are actually, catching it on the moment. They know that this man is performing. And I think credit also goes to his predecessors who recognize that quality in him. And he did one thing before that election. He did a kind of survey. He brought in experts who conducted survey about 3 occasions. And everybody was pointing alongside of the current governor that, look, this is the best person I think who can do the job. And I think he has been empowered by the quality of the wife that he has, who is a professor, who is also grew up in that state and a princess from the royal home. So I think he's a potential president of Nigeria. We should watch out for him.
But some people might want to say that Ekiti State was created late, October 1st, 1996. So they really need to do a lot of things to catch up. But what other areas, if you're to advise the governor, what other areas do you think the governor needs to be looking at to bring the much-needed development to the state?
I was just waiting for Wale not to go to that, Adewale not to go to that part, because I was going to say that, what more, I don't want to talk about the governor again. I just want to talk about the potency in the statements coming from the former governors.
The former governors.
This means a lot for those of us who have been covering elections in Ekiti State. That government house Fayose was pointing to, that he said he couldn't recognize it. You hardly see governors, former governors, make that kind of statements. Governors don't want people to outshine them. Former governors don't want people to outshine them. Former presidents don't want people to outshine them. For people to say, I can't recognize where I used to sleep, it's so. It means a whole lot for me.
It means a whole lot.
It therefore means that people who do things that matters. I think is one philosopher that quoted. They don't stay on it. They don't talk about it. It's people around them that will sing their songs, and that is what we saw. You know, those statements are strong. They are powerful. This was a state where, if you have heard of Idosi, you know, it was bloody. It was terrible. Journalists were almost maimed, especially from this TVC here. You know, they had to escape, you know, from being killed, being lynched. That was how terrible Ekiti was. And for all these former governors to shower encomium on someone 18 times visit, that sounds very, very out of this world. So it speaks volume about him. So talking about Ekiti State, where you should focus on, we know what Ekiti State is, a civil service state. It's where teachers, you don't play with teachers, you don't do all those things. And I remember one of those statements that Fayose told me then when I had one-on-one interview with him, and he said, hey, I'm not interested in industrializing the state. Oh, I want to focus on my people. That was where the idea of stomach infrastructure came up. But this is a man who is giving attention to all this, industrializing the state, giving us what Ekiti represents. You know, we grew up to know Ekiti as the most intellectually savvy state, and they are representing that. They are telling us that we have what it takes. And this is someone who has taught us that the more educated you are, the more humble you'll be.